It's Adia, and you are watching GospelBreak.com. So my dad always had a studio in our house, so he used to like put me on the piano and put like a mic in front of me, and I would just be singing and playing for hours. Professionally, I decided to make this a career when I graduated high school, and I've been pretty much going hard since I was about 17. My biggest influences are Beyonce, Brandy. I love me some Brandy. Kiara Sheard and Jasmine Sullivan. And I love Kim Burrell too, of course. You know, we've all studied her, but I think those are my biggest influences vocally. And I think a lot of urban and non-traditional Christian artists deal with this. It's just not being put in a box. And it's hard sometimes because what we do is so on the edge that it's hard for the church people to, or not church people, but it's hard for more traditional people that didn't grow up with that kind of, you know, with that kind of music and stuff to be able to appreciate it. But the beautiful thing about it is if you strip away the beat and you strip away all of the extra stuff, you know, at the end of the day, the music and the message is still the same. And it's still Jesus and it's still God. And I'll never compromise the gospel, never compromise Jesus Christ for the sake of being relevant. But if I made more traditional music, that just wouldn't be authentic to who I am. So the situation with my aunt, I'm sure you've heard in different interviews probably. But that was kind of like my turning point. I lost my grandmother in 2008, and that was like a core piece of my heart. And so in 2008, I kind of steered completely the opposite direction. Like, you know, I didn't start off doing gospel music. I started off in mainstream when I was 17. I didn't decide to change my music until 2011 after I received Christ, after my aunt had passed. And so, like, my aunt had passed, that was just kind of a eye-opener for me, you know, because you realize that we really live to die one day. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm living to die to live again. You know what I mean? So, you know, but that was kind of that situation with my aunt. So in 2011 was when I decided to change, and like my life started to change, my music changed with it. And so Behind Enemy Lines, it's the album, August 26th. It's out right now. Do you have it or not? Behind Enemy Lines was my personal struggle. You know, that was what I dealt with things in my mind. Anxiety, fear, depression, you know, a lot of things that a lot of us are afraid to talk about, you know, but I dealt with those things really bad and still do sometimes, you know. But Behind Enemy Lines is simply talking about how we hold ourselves hostage in our own mind a lot of the times. And a lot of times we're the ones that's keeping ourselves from what God has for us, you know. And so, but a lot of times people don't like to speak about that, you know. A lot of us want to show, okay, once you receive Christ, it's perfection from here, but it's not. It's a journey, and you have no choice but to walk it. And everybody's journey is different, and so this was mine, and mine was just kind of saving me from me. We didn't have an album title at the beginning. It just came after the body of work was done, and we're like, dude, this is it. Because like I said, we just made records that were true and honest to where I was spiritually. Because I can't teach anything to anyone that I don't know or that I haven't lived already. And so Rags to Riches was just simply talking about that struggle as well. You know, it's going from nothing to something, bad to better. You know, in a more spiritual sense, we could say going from leaving earth's rags, you know, for heaven's riches. And at the end of the day, I found my riches through the love of Jesus Christ. And so that's where that song kind of came. They can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Adia Sings, AdiaSings, and Facebook, Adia Sings Official. Man, I got them signs, and I look over, and all I see is everybody like taking their hat off, and you know how it gets in sports.